Alright, what is up guys, it is Storm back here with another video, and in this one I am bringing you part 7, or the final part to a Rimuru story that I've been doing for the past couple of months. Now if you want to see all the previous parts, the links will be down in the description below. But before the video begins, if you like the content you're seeing, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I mean, they're all free, so why not? If you want some dope channel merch, the link that'll be down in the description below. And if you want to see more of me, go check out my other channels and go follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, which will all be linked down below. But without further ado, why don't we just dive right on in. An evil Rimuru stood full power before Veldora the Storm Dragon, Demon Lord Milim. Veldora, Milim, are you prepared to die along with everything else on this world? Every living thing, every insignificant insect that are so-called beings that exist only to take, and take, and take, and nothing else, Rimuru told them. Veldora responded, "You're wrong, Rimuru. Every being, every form of life deserves a chance to live, and whatever they choose to do with their life is on them, not anyone else, and most certainly not on the entire world." Milim spoke up next. "Rimuru, I'm sorry for what happened to your friends, your family, but that doesn't give you the right to dictate how everything will end, or how anything goes. You may be demon lords, but even we have our limits." Rimuru spoke. "So I guess we aren't seeing eye to eye. I guess I'll just have to kill you to fulfill what needs to be done. And if you think you can stop me, then go ahead and try." With those words, Demon Lord Milim, who was still transformed, and Veldora the Storm Dragon, who was in a human form, readied themselves, and launched towards Rimuru at full speed. Rimuru smiled darkly as the two drew closer. He readied himself as well. Milim was the first to arrive towards Rimuru, and she went in for a massive punch that would do devastating damage, but Rimuru easily dodged it and grabbed her by the fist and tossed her up into the air at an incredible speed. Veldora arrived second, and seeing that, he unleashed a massive beam of energy from his hands towards Rimuru, and jumped into the air to catch Milim. Veldora, while in the air, managed to catch Milim, and with the two of them in the sky, they both saw that Rimuru had brushed off the beam of energy and was flying towards them. Veldora and Milim launched at Rimuru as well, and the Storm Dragon and Demon Lord raced towards the evil slime, until they collided and started to go blow for blow. Veldora and Milim against Rimuru. It was a fairly even match, with the two tag teaming against Rimuru, attacking at the same time, and switching in at the perfect moment. It was as if the two were in perfect sync. However, after a while of punches, kicks, and blocks from the dragon and demon towards the slime, and vice versa, Veldora and Milim began to get the upper hand. Here and there, Rimuru would get punched in the face, or the gut, or kicked somewhere until Veldora slammed his fist into Rimuru's back, which sent him rocketing towards the ground. A dazed Rimuru began to get up from the crater he had created, and saw that Veldora and Milim were headed towards him. Rimuru was getting angrier and angrier. Couldn't they see what he was trying to do was a good thing? Couldn't they see that it was the right thing? And so, Rimuru yelled in anger, "I won't let anyone or anything stop me from destroying everything!" Rimuru powered up even more, and was now overflowing with power, and when Veldora and Milim arrived near the crater, he jumped and grabbed them both by their necks and began flying while smashing and dragging their heads to the ground. Eventually, Rimuru picked them up and threw them into a nearby mountain. Veldora and Milim were both dazed and injured, but they knew they couldn't give up, and they had to go beyond their full power to stop Rimuru. They crawled out of the destroyed mountainside, and saw Rimuru in front of them, but he was different. He was overflowing with power. Too much power. And everything was glowing. Even his eyes were glowing. Rimuru spoke. "This is the end. I am a god, and what I say goes. And now you die!" Rimuru then launched a massive beam of energy, the likes of which this world had never seen. And Veldora and Milim looked at each other, before nodding and knowing what they had to do. They both went full power. No, they went beyond their full power and were reaching a level they never knew existed. And then, they launched their own massive beams, and it combined and collided with Rimuru's, which matched it in power. The opposing beams of energy were in a beam struggle that couldn't even be fathomed of the power behind it. Rimuru was giving 150%, and still they did not die. However, that's when Veldora and Milim unleashed even more pent-up power, and little by little, their combined energy beam began to overpower Rimuru's, until their beam overtook Rimuru's. Veldora and Milim's energy beam had overtaken Rimuru's, and the beam struck Rimuru, and he was impacted with the full power of everything Veldora and Milim had, and then some. The beam caused a massive explosion that could be seen from space, and Veldora and Milim were sent flying back and were both knocked out. When the two awoke, they looked around and saw that the landscape around them was a complete and utter wasteland. And that's when they saw Rimuru, who was laying on the ground, and when they walked up to him, they saw how badly he was hurt. Rimuru was on the verge of death, and no healing would be able to save him from these injuries. Veldora and Milim looked down to their friend, and Veldora spoke. "We had to stop you, Rimuru. Why? Why did you make us do this?" Rimuru could barely speak, but he managed to get out. I just wanted to stop anyone from losing anything ever again. Milim spoke next. "You can rest, Rimuru. You can see your family now." Rimuru tried to speak once more. I'll get to see them. I like the sound of that. I'm sorry, everyone. And with those final words, Rimuru Tempest was no more. Even though they were both incredibly injured, Veldora and Milim looked upon Rimuru's body, and tears began to stream down their eyes and faces, until they both smiled, and looked towards one another and then looked towards the sky. Neither spoke a word, but they understood what the other was thinking. They understood that the Rimuru who had become their first true friend would want them to save this world, and to lead it in the right direction. 愛してる。